everyone, this is Dan, also known as DCC Rules, here in my old Pandacraft town, Naval Yard. Which, if you haven't watched my videos before, you probably won't know this, but this town and every Pandacraft town got destroyed a couple months ago when the server got hacked and extremely heavily griefed. Now, while there were backups, some idiot decided to brag about it to the hackers, who then spammed command and destroyed the backups. So he had to shut down the survival world, which was also partially a choice since 1.7 was coming out shortly afterwards. So he did all this. So he decided to take down this whole world. What was I saying? He decided to take down this whole world and just do the Skyblock server for the past couple months. He recently updated the server and added creative, which we had back when this was around, as well. And he is going to add survival very soon. I'm good friends with a lot of the staff, so I get first notice on things. In my town, not to brag, but there are a couple secrets that probably almost no one on the server knows about. Like maybe 5 people in the world knew that these things existed. Tops. My first one is my old home base. I set up underground here because I thought it would be the safest place ever, and it was. And to this day, no one has found this place without me showing them, and I barely show anyone. The very complex redstone mechanism set up over here was actually set up by my good friend Contour when we first. No, was it? I think it was Kamikaze Bot, actually. I forget. It was someone. Back when I first started playing here and we started doing these things. I can't remember some of the names because it's been so long and a lot of them have disappeared. I really don't know where most of these people went, but after I'd gotten enough resources, I decided to build a pathway over to the water here and build my boat. In fact, this whole town, the Naval Yard, was based on a naval theme because, well, I thought boats would be the best thing you could live on in Minecraft. It would give you the best advantage. I mean, how easy is it to attack someone on a ship? And I named my ship the MCM Shafter. If you don't get the joke, well then you need a dirtier mind. And MCM stands for Minecraft Navy. There's 2 ways onto the boat. The hard one is to get through that door. I say the hard one because even though it's just a simple button door, since I created that door, it's been a pain in the butt and no one's been able to get through it. I don't know what it is. I'll show you the upper deck in a second, but just walk down here and this is the inside of my ship, which I love with all my heart. And over here is a couple of decoy chests. In case anyone ever tried to raid me, they would have to break these blocks here, and this used to be filled with lava, and if they tried to break those blocks, they would hopefully die. And I have my infinite water source. Anvil, and MCM memo anvil, my wall of furnaces and crafting tables, and all of my chests, which are actually labeled, and I had a very, very detailed system. You notice a lot of these chests are a little empty. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Oh, my ender chest is empty. Well, that's weird. Oh, no, it's missed. Okay. Well, I guess that's because my save data in here. Once again, don't know why this TT. Yeah, I had a lot of interesting stuff here. This was my enchanting room. This was my quarters, and something I forgot last time I tried to make this video, which I'll explain in a bit, is a little enchanting area we had over here. This was my captain's quarters. It's a really beautiful area. You can see the bottom of the hot tub, which I'll show you in a minute. Here's my shower, which also leads down to the water for quick escapes and quick boardings. Fly. But yeah, up here, this is something I always like to show people. Was you could go up that ladder, and from here you could view really most of the coastline. It was a great view. Back there, you can see the hot tub I built as a show of friendship and hung out with some people. First couple days of the server, really. My personal farms, my personal tree farms. I did so much axe damage, like using MCMO tree feller on those. A little fishing pier there, and I'll explain this area in a minute. I forgot to show you down here. This is where my mines were, and that random squid too. Down this way was my mine. It goes down very far distance. I can't even remember it. This is a sugar farm that a contour helped me make. These I remember. A contour made this for me, and then later on, following his model, I expanded the room and made this. But I needed his help to make it work because I was an idiot and I didn't know how certain things work. And here is another secret, even more secretive probably than the last one because I never even showed people this. During the first raiding weekend that I was informed about, I decided to protect myself by creating this bunker where I would hide all my stuff. And to this day, no one ever found it. Only if I showed anyone would they know it. I hooked it to the switch that would activate the farms. Because it holds back water that washes everything down. That's pretty much it. But I was really proud of that. And now for the Atlantis Cafe, which we never finished. Believe it or not, it looks finished, don't it? It's so big. This I worked on with my friend Silex Fox, who joined my town in the very early days, and later on moved around a lot. One of the greatest builders on the server, currently a mod, and a great guy. You don't know how hard it was to make these rooms of glass, because we would go out into the water and we'd block up all of it, and it was a pain in the butt. As you can see here, these were intended to be sign shops, and we would set a warp in here so people could come in here and eat and view the ocean. I thought it was a wonderful idea, and I still love it. It had a lot of rooms, and we were probably going to build more, but this was my favorite because you can look up and see my ship. Which, honestly, it looks like crap, I guess. I mean, compared to a lot of the stuff I've seen since I built that ship, I guess it's not as good, but I was still so proud of it. And I still will be for the rest of my life, because it's one of my first projects and I was happy with it. If you follow this tunnel, then you come up here and you come to yet another very little known area, which is Silex's basement. I think this is just a mine. Yeah, it looks like it. Right into a mine shaft. I've never really been down here much myself. In the last video, I tried to make, I didn't even come down this far. But he had a really interesting place. He had a secret chest back here that not even I knew about. He tried to have a beef farm or something here, I think, but I don't know why that never worked. A little wheat farm. He was a great builder. Apparently someone was raiding him somehow, and I don't know how. But he left me this message when he eventually left. And that was a really sad point for me. And it was really the decline of my town, I felt. Because when Silex and a Contour left my town, I think a Contour eventually came back, but they were my two best players. I never had anyone who could make up for them. I've had a lot of interesting people in my town, but never anyone like that. This used to be his wardrobe, and he put his chainmail armor in there, which I think he got for donating or something. I forget. But it was like really rare to get. Now it's easy to get on Skyblock because you can get fire from killing fire spirits, which are a custom mob that BBP put in. BBP is the Black Belt Panics that owner server. This land used to not be here, and I used to have a much better. Oh wait, no, that's not mine. That's my. Yeah, she used to have a much better view out of the back of her ship. But this is a circus that me and Halpern were going to build at one point, but Halpern also left my town. He was very on and off with my town, and even on other servers he still is. He's always trying to. It always seems like a Halpern's trying to become better and make more for himself. I'm always sad to find that he never really succeeds. The reason why there's another portal in the middle is we also wanted to make a TARDIS here at one point. We actually had a big blue TARDIS, and you could. The plan was you would walk through the nether portal, and there would be stuff on the other side, but we never finished that. Over here is the Ender Huntress's ship. She was a very good friend of mine. Also left my town eventually, but is definitely once again one of the best. I never really had much luck maintaining my members, but everyone was a quality person, and none of them ever robbed me. Well, none of the good ones. I mean, I was robbed a few times, but I mean, a lot of my members were very quality people who just disappeared. I just remember the name of the guy who worked here. His name was Chaos with a K. He tried to build this ship and never finished it. One day he just disappeared. This right here is a little amusing thing I came up with. I was bored one day and I just made this white van, and I gave all these villagers funny Scooby-Doo related names, like Fur, Durfney, Vermeer. I even put a Scooby-Doo there, with all the derp. That was a snowman farm. I forget who made these, but someone made these really nice houses and planned to sell them. Never happened. I didn't ever go with that. But they made this really nice area, and I'm really happy about that. This used to be a natural lake, but it was much smaller, and I just widened it one day because I was bored and connected it to the ocean over there. Someone made a bridge here originally, and I expanded it. Gave it more room. If you'll notice, there's a lot of quartz around the town. That's because we had a plugin that made you move faster if you were on top of quartz or block on top of quartz. So I eventually made all these roads out of nether brick, then underlined them with another thing. Someone made their house the mine. I forget who. There used to be a head there, but I took it. I can't for the life of me remember who lived here. Maybe there's a head or something in his chest. I don't know. But he was a good guy, and he disappeared one day. This I'm going to do last. It's my pride and joy, and I want to show you guys that in a minute. This was not made by a member of my town, but something I'm really proud of. I found someone who can make these amazing structures. I forget his name, but it was something Spanishy, I think. And this was fully functional. Those guns would work. And I mean, it's just so impressive. And they actually fired. He had horse stables over here. See, horse stables. They were partially built by the guy who lived here, I believe. Really good guy. I do not remember who he is. He was here in the later days of my town, and was one of my more favorite and lasting members, I would guess. But really nice guy. And I mean, I did my best to help him, and he was I liked him in my town. I would love to see him again. There are other people, like other notable members of my town. I'll bring up at points. Some I can remember like by name, like Alexander 007, who joined my town, left my town, joined my town, left my town, joined my town, left my town. Just kept bouncing back and forth and trying to make his own towns, but his own towns would always fall. He was never good at it. He eventually got the highest rank, and I don't know. He donated for it a lot. This building was designed to be a complete nether-themed building. I even put another portal inside. Made complete nether. Literally, if I had those there. Why is this a waterfall then? Because I tried to make a lava fall, and the lava would just fall too slowly. I'm not even happy with the way the water falls because I wanted it to fall like much faster. So it would be like the middle would fall and then it would look like it's parting. But that never happened. Someone lived there, I don't know who. I think I put a water bucket in one of these trees at one point. Yeah, right there. Right there. I put that there hoping someone would destroy this tree and the water would fall on them and they'd just be like, what? The guy who lived there made this mine. That was just some area we destroyed for resources. Random mushroom. I forgot how I got mushrooms, but I got mushrooms at one point. And someone used to live here, but there was Purple Unicorn Man and Purple Unicorn Girl. Purple Unicorn Man lived here. Didn't really like his house. I think I eventually turned it into a mine, I guess. I don't know. I can't really remember all these details sometimes. But this plot was just tortured, pretty much. This is the MCNY Minecraft Naval Yard Humane Mushi Processing Facility, and it's pretty much just a pole where I would kill him. I always tried to sound a little more humane than Minnie, who would just literally slaughter things, and I thought that'd be funny. Up here was another late member of the town. I messed around with him at one point by decorating his place, but he liked it, and I was glad he liked it, because I didn't want to piss him off. Oh, that's why I didn't do anything worse. But he had nice farms and stuff. He had a really nice house, honestly. Small, but nice. And over here we had an even later member, probably the last person to ever join my town. I don't know how he ever planned to get in and out of this place. I never wanted to break it to figure it out. Looks like that was supposed to be the door. Okay, I get it. But I don't get fully. Okay. There we go. Oh. Okay, I figured that out now. Yeah, and this is actually the first time I've ever been in his house because I never knew how. His name was like Navy SEAL Jack or something like that, like JAQ or JAC. It was something naval related, so I thought it was perfect for our town. How did you? Oh, I'm not even gonna. This is the iron farm that someone had built for me. I think their name was Xavier Mitaris. I made a really amusing house in this. And it was just my idle room. Idle as in I would just sit there and not do anything while my farm ran and would make iron. It was originally an AFK machine, but those were made illegal, so I just transferred it to that. And I always had trouble with this farm because I never knew how, but my villagers would always die. Over here we had a project mostly done by a Halpern, who I mentioned earlier, but also partially done by me. Also, I mentioned I'm using Optifine, which is how I'm doing this right now, but I used to hide behind that tree disguised as a pig because I got a free rank that allowed you to disguise as a pig, and I would stalk people who were building over here because I had nothing better to do. But I made that gangplank actually myself. But this was going to be his ship. I don't know what those signs are for. And he never finished it because, like I said, he left my town. A lot of people would just chronically leave my town, and I stayed friends with a few of them, but most of them I never saw again. They just disappeared off the face of the server. There used to be a house where that van actually is now, I remember. Right here was Purple Unicorn Girl's house. She was psychotic. She wanted me to be her boyfriend, but she was like 5 or 6 years younger than me. And she was obsessed with me, and she raided us at one point. I don't remember why, but we got everything back. It was alright. It really never mattered to me because she didn't achieve anything. Here is what I consider my biggest accomplishment. My gigantic tower. Those are some signs. Like, all these chests were here because I used them as storage as I was building it. Down here was actually a mine. 7 hearts, 7.5 hearts, 8 hearts. That's how much damage you would take falling from up here. This was actually an MCMMO acrobatics grinder. Warning, you may die because it was actually possible to die if you didn't do it right. But if you got a bullseye and you got a graceful landing, you wouldn't take any damage. And down here was the mine I made with some interesting exits. I mined out this entire place almost completely on my own. I don't know who, if anyone else, ever helped me. But most of the work on this area was from the first day to the last day of this entire server. But I had an old mine that I actually had a moment of nostalgia when I discovered this, because this was my old mine, and I actually had it covered up at one point. Oh, hey, iron. I think it was this way. Can't believe I can remember it so well. Yeah, there used to be an exit to this mine here, but I blocked it off. That's why there's that grass block there. Oh, this is a long video. But, yeah, this was my original mine, and then I made a pathway linking that to what would eventually have become my town's bunker. I had wanted to make like a redstone bunker or something, and we started to cave out this entire mountain. This big structure here was made by, I believe, a contour. Again, he made a lot of good stuff. It was a spider juicer. Spiders would build up in there. You press the lever, and they'd get squished. Yeah, and this comes out right in the side of this hill right here. And that's a summary of almost every important structure that I can think of in this general area. Back to the tower. Yeah, I went to say hi to this guy once, and I just visited him, and he killed me for no reason. Yeah. That glitch still happens. I remember since day one that glitch had been happening. This was reception desk I made on the first floor. There used to be signs all along the bottom here listing outposts and warps and stuff, but I mean eventually I didn't eventually a lot of them became unimportant, so just got rid of them. I collected every music disc I can. I bet there's even one in here. This was my favorite one. Oh, I get it now. It doesn't come out of my inventory. But is it playing? I can't tell. Yeah, it's playing. I had to put my headphones on to check. But every time someone would come, I know I'd play it. This was our mailbox. People could give us stuff. This was the Tower of Pimps I made. I know it's not an actual Tower of Pimps because it's not obsidian and gold. But I thought, hey, I'm rich. I'm going to make it a more expensive tower. Yeah. Wall of Warps. All warps I know shall be listed here. And these were just all the important shops and other warps I could think of. I would always ask people for public warps to put on there, and this is literally all the ones I could ever find. This used to be a working elevator, but we needed a plug-in, so it doesn't work now. Up here, we have my mob farms. I had some funny times with Mini in here. I made these in my first 5 days on the server, I would say, which explains why they're so awful. In fact, this whole tower was made like really early on. This was my mushroom farm. I would always find mobs in here because it was so dark. It started off where it was just wood, but eventually I replaced the wood with my scent lamp. On a lot of levels, you're going to notice these iron doors leading outside. That's just to access the vine farm that I had placed painstakingly around the entirety of the tower. I never had flies, so that was a real pain in my butt. Okay, that's cool, but I'm taking out those fires. They must have spread before I turned fire spread off, but I don't know. Last time I recorded this server, this lava bucket, well, not this bucket, this lava source, and a lava source upstairs had caused this entire tower to burn down while I wasn't looking. So that was bad. These heads belong to Mini Prey, who liked to decorate my town with his head. He had access to the tower only because I gave him permission. This was a public mob farm that I let people use. It had an MCMO anvil, normal anvil, chests, donation chests where you could throw stuff in, ender chests, a whole 9 yards. I forget who put those lights in. Anyone can come here. The warp was MCNY, and yeah. This was the mob farm access floor, so that if there's anything ever wrong with the mob farm, you could just take a look at it. This is the kitchen we built. This was during the time Ender was around, and so was a Contour. I believe he designed this. I loved it. We put in just a massive brewing station back here, and we made a lot of money off of selling potions. Mini's head again. This is our lottery, which was probably one of our most, like, what's the word? Profitable things we ever had. I think we had a simpler version at one point, but Mini messed it up. Ender made it initially, and then Contour messed it up. That's who messed it up. And then he spent hours trying to fix it, or days or something. I don't know. And eventually we just got Ender to come back, because this was after she had left, and she just fixed it in like 5 seconds, and he just felt so stupid. I think I could be wrong. That's just how I'm remembering it. That's Ender. That was BBP, and that was his at the time wife, I think, or girlfriend. I'm not gonna talk about that. That's their business. But at the time that this was up, they were together. So I had great respect for both of them, so I put their heads there. And that's my head with the anvil over. I forget who put that there. You would put items in there, donations in there, and your stuff would come out there. It used to look a little different, but once again, we changed things up at one point. I used to have lighting on the floor, and it looked really cool. I had a not currently hiring sign because people would be constantly asking if they could get a job here. And an employees only no jumping sign because people kept jumping back here. It was mostly my friends, but still. This was the potion raffle. It never really worked out. There's still a lot of stuff in there. We never got enough to do it. People never wanted to do it, but people always wanted me to draw the raffle so they could win potions. But I mean, I couldn't because not enough people had done it. More trash. Some potion stuff so I could brew potions back here. Salvage and repair, which I would do for a fee. And whenever I got kits, because I got the free VIP rank, so I would get kits occasionally, I would have, well, daily, really. I would have, Minnie come here and he would salvage my stuff, because he was like one of the few people on the server who had 600 levels in MCMMO. But I had all this chest full of stuff. Back here I had chests for merchandise from my friends who would give me items and I would sell them and they would get a percentage of the profits. This is the next floor, which was you'll notice I'm speeding up. That's because we're closer to my beacon. I'll talk about that in a minute. This was the storage annex we had built. Well, I had built. And I started to fill this up with everything I could get my hands on. I didn't want to break a lot of glass, so I decided to do this. Up here was an unfinished area. It was going to be a custom fireworks workshop, but I never really got around to finishing that. And up here was the lounge. And a water cooler. That was someone else's idea. Computer desk and a bunch of seats and possibly the best view in the entire server. It was wonderful. And if you go up here, this was going to be a control room where, I guess it'd be like a lighthouse control room tower thing, you know. Give that a second. I want to show you this. Something I'm very proud of. This is something that Clam devised, and it would light up and flicker. I don't know why it's not working. But Minnie and Clam had tried for a while to help me come with an idea for a revolving light. For my lighthouse, because I wanted this to have an actual working light. And we tried for a while, and eventually this is what I came up with. And it was loosely based off an idea Minnie gave me, but for the most part, it was mostly me. And I felt really proud of myself, because I sucked with redstone. I couldn't do anything redstone. But I made this. And you could see it as long as it was in your render distance. Every couple seconds, that revolving light would go around. And this was huge. I made this whole entire building almost entirely myself without fly. And it was just huge. And you would just occasionally see that crawling across. Now here's what's even crazier. This right here is 26 by 26 blocks in a pyramid shape. And what kind of block are they? Iron. I spent months collecting every ounce of iron from iron farms that I could. And this is the culmination of that work. A massive beacon array at the top of my tower, and I was so proud of it. And when I finished this, I thought, this is it. I spent months of my life working on this tower, and I'm proud to say I finally achieved what I set out to do, which is make probably one of the best monuments on all Pandacraft. And I will hold to that. I don't think anyone else on the server had anything better than this. They definitely had some pretty amazing things, and it's probably mostly my own personal bias. I mean, if you notice here, there's Warp Quartz Castle. That's a Contour's head. He had made a massive castle out of quartz, and it was beautiful. But it didn't have the functionality that my lighthouse did. And it wasn't themed, but I mean, it was beautiful, of course. I might do a video on that later. But I'm just so proud of this. it was worth all the effort I put into it. And I think I'll end this video with just one last passing of that light. That light that I spent days on a tower I spent months on a town I spent even more time on. And I mean, this was my life for so long, and a bunch of jerks took it away from me in like 5 minutes, and having it back, well, makes me want to cry almost. And right in bed up there. I can just remember some of the stories behind some of the most trivial things on the server. And I mentioned that this lake right here, I made this lake. It used to be a little lake, but I was bored, so I made it into a giant lake. This bridge here used to be smaller. I got bored, I extended it. I did that in so many places. I was so bored all the time, and I would just make bigger and bigger things. I'm proud of myself. I'm so glad to have this back. Just to be able to show to people the stuff that I made, the stuff I'm proud of. Whether you like my videos or my builds, I could care less, because I like them, and that's what matters. If you want to look at more of what's on the server, because there's a lot of interesting stuff on this server, I'm going to put a link to the download in the description. The download's going to take you a while, though, because this is an entire server map, and it's a couple gigabytes, I think. I'll also give you an IP to the server, so that if you want to play on the new map, which should be coming out in a week or two, not making promises on that, by the way. That's just my estimate. It's definitely under production, I know, because I talk with the staff. But I'll put that link, put that in the description. And it's been Dan, also known as DCC Rules, and have a great day. I know I do. This right here, seeing this thing going again makes my day.